Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We've come to the sewing part, and I'm going to put my eyelets, as you can see, on the drawing. There is an eyelet on the side of the dress where I'll lace it at the end of the day. I spread it out and I laid my pattern on it so I can get where I want my eyelet to start from. Okay, so I've notched that part and I am going to go in by 3 inches. I'm going to measure 3 inches inward. That is where the eyelet is going to start from. Okay, so I just marked across that very line so that the eyelet will start on one part and then the two layered pockets will start on the other part. So I marked my 3 inches and then I marked it down to where I want my eyelet to stop. Okay, I marked it, and then on both sides I marked about 1.5 inch, and then I connected them. Okay, so because this is a child's dress, so I marked 1.5 inch on both sides, on both the upper parts, for the gapping, for the distance between the eyelets. Okay, and then across I equally marked 1.5. Okay, so 1.5 up, 1.5 down. So I pinched it and I notched it out, like I opened it up for my eyelet to pass across it. Okay, so like so, and I did that for the all of them. Be careful not to open the eyelet hole too wide so that it won't rip off at the end of the day. Okay, so just open it a tiny and then force the eyelet to pass through. It's going to grip it and tighten better that way. Okay, so on the right side, round the main eyelet is going to be on the right side. Okay, while I'm going to slip the the pin that is going to grip the eyelet at the back and the wrong side. Okay, just like you are seeing. Okay, and after that, on my machine also, and I am going to place my eyelet on on the the lower part. Okay, and then the pin would face the eyelet machine. Okay, I hope you're going to understand. Just watch and follow what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to fix the eyelet on all the parts I have marked. Okay, I'm going to fix it on all the parts I've marked earlier. Okay, I fixed this one and you can see how it looks. Okay, I'm going to open the other side and do the same thing as well. Okay, do not mind how open this looks on the screen. The reason why it's looking this open is because the camera magnified it to be more visible. Okay, in actual sense it's very very tiny, just as when you are marking your inches, it looks a lot bigger on the camera than when it's in the real life, in the real sense. Okay, so I'm done fixing the eyelet. Okay, as you can see, I'm done fixing it, and this is my pocket. Okay, the two layered pocket, I marked 7 by 3.5 inch. Okay, I marked it and then I folded it. I'm going to fold it into two. I've also gone ahead to iron my paper stay. Okay, so that it's going to look stiff and look more relaxed. Okay, so I I marked where the pocket is going to lay as well. Okay, I'm going to go to my machine and go ahead to stitch it. So I folded it and stitched on the wrong side. Okay, on the on the edge you might want to make your own slanted. Okay, like make the mouth a bit tinier than the rest of the body, and that was why I came in by half inch on the tip, and then on the down part I sew by 0.25. Okay, just so that it will give it that shape that I want. Okay, I'm going to do the same for the both of them. I have closed up the both of them. Now to sew this pocket, okay, you can see how it's going to lay. The pocket, I am going to face the pocket downward. Okay, let's assume that the pocket is going to, fall to the hem, like down to your leg side. I am going to put it the other way for it to face the chest part. Okay, and then I'm going to top stitch, and then after top stitching I would face it downward back where it's supposed to face, then top stitch again. Okay, so that it's going to lay perfectly. I've gone ahead to stitch the other one as well. Okay, so I've laid both of them, and what I'm going to do next is to top stitch. You can decide to just iron it flat and lay it that way so it will look neat. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead to top stitch on 0.25 as well, because I top stitch on 0.25 earlier, so I'm going to top stitch on 0.25 as well. And I'm done with that. I'm going to iron it flat and lay it well. Okay, now that I'm done fixing the eyelets and the pocket, I'm going to go ahead to close the shoulders and the sides of this dress. Okay, so I lay my back to my front and I close the shoulder, and then I close the side as well. As you can see, I close the both sides. Okay, remember that it's the same allowance you gave when cutting that you're going to sew. So for me, I gave 1 inch allowance and I sew on 1 inch allowance as well. Next will be to fix my zip. So before fixing my zip, I'm going to measure where I want my slit to be. Okay, so I'm measuring this for the sake of this tutorial. Usually I just mark about 5 to 6 inches because this is for a child. Okay, I mark about 5 to 6 inches. Then from the waist I came down about 7 inches and marked as well. That would be where my zip is going to stop. Okay, so I close from that 7 inches down to my 6 inches I marked earlier for the slit. Okay, that is where I'm going to close. Then next I'm going to fix my zipper. Here I used an invisible zipper because this is an already made dress, so I used an invisible zipper to fix this. So I lay my zip before closing my neckline. Okay, as you can see, I've not closed my neckline. I'm going to cut out a bias strip to close the neckline. I'm done fixing the other side, and I am going to go ahead to fix the other side of my zip. Okay, if you noticed, I used an invisible foot for this to aid my sewing so that it will be more easier. Okay, so you can see how neat my invisible zip is. So I'm going to measure around my neckline. Okay, and I'm going to cut out a 1.5 inch width, and I'm going to measure round that neck and then measure the same length for my bias. Okay, I use the same fabric for bias so that it will be neater and better that way. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead to sew on the right side of this dress. Okay, I'm going to attach that bias on the right side of this fabric just the way you are seeing it. Okay, then after attaching it, I'm going to go ahead to fold it twice and top stitch it on the tip. Okay, so I sew on 1/2 inch as you can see here. So here I'm folding it twice on the wrong side of the dress. Okay, on the inside of the dress, and then I am sewing it there, as you can see. So this will give you a neat finishing. Okay, when you are done sewing, iron it and press it neatly, it's going to look very beautiful. So for the hem, that is the length of the dress, I'm going to fold it twice, just with as we usually do. I'm going to close the dress. Okay, so here I am drafting my sleeve. Okay, I first of all marked my bicep length, my elbow length, and the length of my sleeve. Okay, again my bicep, my elbow length, and the length of my sleeve. Don't mind the markings on this paper, it was already used before, and I couldn't afford to waste another paper just for the sleeve. Okay, since I have something that will be okay for me. So I marked my round bicep, my round elbow, and whatever I got on my elbow. Okay, I added about 3 to 4 inches on the hemline. Okay, because this is a bell sleeve and it's going to have an elastic on the tip. Okay, so I measured round my armhole on the dress. Okay, where I'm going to fix the sleeve, I measured round the armhole. I'm so sorry that this part where I put the armhole didn't show on this video. It I had no idea. I absolutely had no idea. Okay, so I cut out my sleeve and I am going to place it on my fabric and cut. So I folded my fabric into four, so I'll be able to cut the sleeve at once. If you are a beginner, do not try this, because your other sleeve that is you might just make a mistake. Just cut it one after the other. For me, I folded it twice. Okay, and then I placed the center on fold. I placed it on fold and I cut it on fold. I also added about 1 inch allowance on the down part, so that to enable me to fold where I'm going to pass my allowance, my elastic rather. Okay, so I marked 1 inch there, and I am going to cut on half an inch on the side. Okay, and I'm equally going to add half an inch on the other part as well, where I'm going to fix to the sleeve. So I close before folding the down part, guys. Always fold your side sleeve, okay, so that it will give it a neat finishing at the down part. That is how to finish perfectly. Okay, so I am going to go ahead to fold the tip of my sleeve, and where I want my elastic to be. Okay, so I sew it round, and when I got to my where I started before, where I began my sewing, I'm going to leave about 1 inch, okay, for where I'm going to pass my elastic. You can see that hole there. That is where my elastic is going to be. So I'm going to measure around the wrist of the child. Round the wrist is about, let's say, about 5 or 7 inches. So I removed about 2 inches, and I cut out 5 inches. Okay, so the reason why I removed that 2 inches is because this is an elastic. Okay, and it's going to um be tight. So I used my safety pin to pass my elastic. So I am done with the sleeve, as you can see, and I am going to fix it on my dress. Okay, so I fixed it on my dress, right side facing the right side, and I sew on half an inch. You can see that the dress is done already. I did the same on the other side of the sleeve. Iron your dress when you're done. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Okay, and see you next time. Bye bye.